light right now. Appreciate it. Hey, how you doing?
Everything's good, buddy. So, just real quick.
Wands. Hey, never pushy. Never pushy, sir. Be good. Yes, sir.
Oh, fancy. Yeah. Mike Ramsey, R-A-M-S-A-Y, Lieutenant, San Diego Police Department.
I'm sorry, can you take a step back a little bit? Thanks. Got
Yeah.
Jamie.
I'm trying to get out of
My
here.
boss will kill me.
Sorry.
About 4:34 hours today, there was a 911 call into our communication center of a bank robbery here at the U.S. Bank, which is at 1455 Frazee Road. Officers began responding to the radio call. As they were responding, we were getting information from employees inside the bank that there was multiple shots being fired by the suspect. That got updated for several minutes while officers responded. And about 6 minutes later, one of the first officers were on the scene. So we were under the information that the suspect was still potentially inside the bank and armed. We were unable to confirm that he had fled at that point. Due to the nature of the crime and the potential that the suspect was firing his gun, we called out our SWAT unit to respond. The officers responded to the scene. We secured the bank building and the nearby parking structure. We were able to make contact with more employees inside the bank. At that point, we had information that we believe the suspect had fled out the north doors. We had all the employees come out of the bank. Officers went inside to the bank and made sure no one was injured inside, which no one was, and we made sure the suspect was not inside. At that point, our focus was the parking structure, where we had several of our SWAT officers go floor to floor, clearing the parking structure, making sure the suspect was not hiding up there or in a vehicle. Once that was done, the scene was completely secured. We're still actively looking for the suspect. I'll give you a description of what we have. We have a Hispanic male, believed to be in his 20s. He's wearing a black hooded sweatshirt with the hood up over his head and a black baseball cap on underneath that. He was wearing black pants. He had a tan backpack. He was wearing black gloves and was armed with a black handgun. And he was also had a looked like a handkerchief style black and white hooded handkerchief over his face. That's the suspect information we have currently. Like I said, it's still active scene. Our robbery investigators, as well as the FBI, is here investigating the crime and talking to witnesses at this point. It's undetermined what the loss is at this point as well.
Are you guys able to say whether or not this suspect is involved or believed to be involved with any other robberies from the San Diego area in the last few days or weeks?
I don't have that information, not that I know.
How many shots were fired, and do we know why he was shooting?
We don't know exactly how many. There was the updates that were several shots being fired. We don't know the reason why, or I don't have the investigators in there to confirm what was being shot. And what we know, no people were shot at. We know no people were injured.
And his primary goal was getting financial gain.
This appears to be a robbery.
And he did get away with something. We just don't know what.
I believe there was a loss. I just don't know what it exactly was or how much.
You said it wasn't clear what the suspect was firing at, whether those were warning shots at.
That information has not been determined yet. I don't believe the investigators have gone into the bank. They're interviewing the witnesses and all the bank tellers who are now outside.
Is it for certain that he acted alone?
That's the only information we have is there one suspect. So as far as being inside the bank, we know there was just one suspect. As far as maybe having a getaway driver or anything like that, I don't have that information.
Are you guys sure that he left the building, or are you still searching the building?
We're completely sure that he left the bank area. It's unknown if he went to any nearby buildings. We don't have the information, but based off some of the security footage and the witness statements, that he left the building.
We understand you were detaining some people?
There was a couple people detained in the parking structure. From the information I have, the check negative. They weren't involved. They just happened to be there, met somewhat of the description. They were detained.
All employees have been accounted for?
All the employees are accounted for.
We heard that there was a hostage situation early on. That was
no hostage information.
Do you have a count of how many people were in the bank, employees and customers?
I know when they came out, there was 5 employees that came out. I don't know if any were left prior to us arriving at the time, and I don't know about as far as customers.
And are you going to release any of this surveillance video just to see?
Our robbery unit will more than likely do that when they have all the surveillance and they've gone through it all.
So did he enter through the front door, and then once he was inside, did he slip a note or anything? What was his method?
From what I understand, he entered through the main doors and he produced the weapon and demanded money.
When did the shooting begin?
Some point during when he entered.
Warning shots in the ceiling?
I don't know. Don't know for sure what was shot. The information was provided by bank employees to our communication center regarding the gunshots.
Was he able to take any money?
I don't know I'm not 100% sure of the loss or how much or if there was any at all.
And we had heard that some employees were hiding in the bathroom. Is that true?
There were some employees hiding that were called 911, and there was also another employee by the teller area that I believe called 911 as well.
Were there customers inside the bank?
I don't know that.
So usually we hear these bank robberies all the time, and they're usually caught almost immediately. What's unique? Is this unique? And if so, what's unique about it?
Well, what was unique about it for us is, the information of shots actively being fired inside the bank multiple times. Obviously, that's, most bank robberies don't end up in shots being fired by the suspects. So that was unique for us as far as our response. That obviously involved our SWAT unit, just due to the nature of it, due to the nature of there are people inside. We don't want it to be a hostage situation. We don't want anyone to be injured or get hurt, so that ramped up our response as far as our tactical units. But that was unique initially for us, of having someone actively shooting inside a bank.
Did they
Really check for evidence.
How long do you guys expect to be out here on the scene?
Probably at least another hour or so, maybe 2 hours.
Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you, sir.
so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Well, have you state and spell your first and your last name?
My name is Tonette, Tonnette, Decree, DECree.
And you work here.
Yes, I work in the 4th floor.
Maybe what you experienced. You said you came outside and you had some police tell you to run.
Yeah, I came out the door and was going to my car, and I saw the police officers, and then they told me, "Ma'am, you need to come over here." And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "You need to come." And I'm just walking. He said, "Run," and I'm still walking just fast. He said, "Run now." And I came to him. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "There's an active shooter in the bank." And they said, "Do you work in the bank?" I said, "No, I work on the 4th floor." He said, "Did you hear gunshots?" I was like, "No, I didn't hear any gunshots." They said, "Well," I said, "I'm just trying to get my car." And he's like, "No, you need to stay back." And that's when all the power came.
Did you see any of the men that were detained?
No, didn't see anybody. Didn't see anyone. Didn't see anyone detained or anything.
Kind of scary?
Yes, very scary. After I was just, moseying to him when he said run, because I didn't know what was going on. All I saw was guns.
Did anybody inside tell you guys to evacuate? You just happened to be getting off work and...
Yeah, that's it. I happened to get off work, and now my coworkers are still up there. So that's why I've been on the phone with them, and the police officer was on the phone with them, and they said for them to stay locked down in the office. So I was telling them, you guys need to turn the lights out and get under the table. You never know where he could be at.
So they're still searching for the man, for the suspect, and
Yes.
they told you that they don't know where he's located right now.
Correct.
Very scary experience. What are your coworkers saying that are trapped up there?
They're scared. They don't know what to do, and they're saying, get more information, go get more information. I'm like, I'm trying, but they won't let me, get to them. So I did give them my phone, one of the police officers my phone, and they spoke to our boss. So I don't know what was told, but now I'm getting ready to call them and see what are they gonna do. All I just told them is that I love them, and you guys just, bunker down somewhere.
But they told you there was an active shooter in the building when you were walking out.
That's what the police officer said, yes. And did I hear any gunshots? And I said, no, I didn't hear any. I'm on the 4th floor, so I didn't hear anything. And usually I come out through the bank way, but this time I didn't. So I guess it wasn't meant for me.
So a crazy start to your weekend?
I'm sorry?
A crazy start to your weekend?
Yes, crazy start. And this has never happened. I've seen it on the news before, but I'm actually not part of it, but actually seen it when it first started. And it's a scary feeling. It's a scary, and the police officer, they are really doing, like I said, a great job, because they came ready. So all I can think of is, I don't know where the guy is, but he needs to be far away, because I think they're going to get you.
Very scary.
Yes, very scary.
Thank you very much.
You're
you,
welcome.
ma'am.
All right, take care.
Have a better weekend.
All right. Not that I know of. It's very quiet. That bank is very quiet. So, and just think they have Wells Fargo right there. So, I guess they thought that one would be easier, because it's usually a quiet bank. So, I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank
ma'am.
you.